Today, I hit a wall. It felt like a total creative shutdown, what most of us would immediately call creator's block. The frustration started when I looked at my feed. I saw everyone else building, posting, and moving forward, and my nervous system reacted instantly. It triggered this internal demand to be productive, telling me I needed to get moving and create something right now just to stay in the game. But the harder I tried to force an idea into existence, the more the friction increased. I was pushing against a door that wouldn't budge. Forcing internal output as a reaction to external pressure creates a cycle of dysregulation. We feel stuck, but the block is actually a symptom of that stress. Eventually, I stopped trying. I gave up on the video I was supposed to make and opened a dictation app instead. I wasn't looking for a good idea. I just needed a place for the thoughts to go so they would stop bouncing around inside my head. I spoke without a filter. I described the exact frustration I was feeling and the specific anxieties that were keeping me from working. This works because it detaches the act of speaking from the pressure of creating content. You're just emptying the machine. As I talked, the confusion dissipated. I realized the problem wasn't a lack of ideas. It was that my mind was already entirely full. Think of your mind as a container. Mine was packed with unprocessed concerns, lingering responsibilities, and observations I hadn't yet dealt with. There was simply no room left. I was trying to build something new on top of a cognitive load that had already reached its limit. This is a matter of sequence. To add anything new, I first had to empty the container of what was already sitting there. Creator's block is often a structural capacity issue. You can't fill a cup that's already overflowing. With the mental pressure gone, my attention shifted to the work itself. I realized my urge to create for one audience was just a reaction to what I saw my peers doing. Once that external noise was out of the way, focusing on my other audience became the logical next step. This insight arrived without me having to stare at a blank screen or engage in a forced brainstorming session. When you clear the occupied space in your mind, the path forward usually becomes visible on its own. It's a bit ironic. I realized I was using the exact voice-to-AI system I teach, not because I was trying to be productive, but because I was frustrated. For verbal thinkers, cognitive overload is frequently misidentified as laziness or a lack of motivation. When you are carrying too much mentally, every small task, from decision-making to simple focus, starts to feel exponentially heavier. Speaking changes the state of those thoughts. The swirling stops, the internal pressure leaves, and the underlying patterns become visible. Voice-to-AI acts as a mechanism for pattern recognition and mental release, helping you access insights that were already there. This entire video is the result of that one dictation session. It came from investigating a single moment of frustration. If you feel stuck, stop assuming it's a discipline issue that requires you to push harder. Do I actually have creator's block, or is my mind simply full? Those are two very different problems. For verbal thinkers, the most direct path to clarity is speaking first, rather than trying to think harder. I've mapped out the system I use to turn these thoughts into direction in the link in my bio. Your next breakthrough is likely hiding underneath thoughts that just need somewhere to go.